I request Pooja to deliver a speech and to share her thoughts about wellness with us. She's been a great speaker lately. Wellness ke bare mein, I think she's giving a takkar to any one of all the top leaders and everybody. So Pooja, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Stan. Pratyush, it's wonderful to meet you. It's wonderful to have so many people in the world of wellness that are taking wellness forward. Today, in today's time, wellness is not a buzzword anymore. Wellness is a way of life and something we all adopt. Jo jeeta wohi sikandar now is with COVID, So in our lives, everything today centers around the concept of wellness. It was a pleasure when I was brand ambassador for Velocity because I also learned so much about your DNA testing facilities and systems and the entire program that was for nutritional sciences and counseling and lifestyle counseling, and all of this is so important to us. I have to share with you, yes, I'm in the world of wellness. Thank you, Stan, for talking about Happy Soul. During the course of my wellness journey, I've been researching a lot, learning a lot. So how many of you believe in past lives, for example? How many of you believe in past lives? Okay. How many of you believe in DNA? You have to, your result of your DNA. Okay, so it's very interesting that a lot of things come down with us from generation to generation, and from what we study and believe, also from lifetime to lifetime. There are genetic imprints, there are also energetic imprints that come into our life. So a lot of times we say, hi, पिछले जन्म में कुछ बुरा किया होगा, and I'm suffering this today sort of thing. It could also be from this lifetime. There are a lot of things we do in this lifetime that we attribute to our previous lifetime, which is actually our mental, emotional, physical state that we have done something to block certain things from a very tiny point. We could be in your mother's womb when certain patterns were set, which are self-defeating, limiting in today's, in your current life today. It's a long story, we won't get much into it. But basically when you come back to DNA, you talk about health, you talk about wellness, again these patterns are formed in childhood. There are a lot of eating habits, behavioral patterns, a lot of who we are today that is completely dependent on who you were as a child, what was taught to you, how to eat. Doodh piyo iske liye, ye karo, wo karo. And sometimes you realize today, through DNA testing and lifestyle counseling that, my God, dairy is the worst thing for me, gluten is the worst thing for me, sugar is the worst thing for me. But in childhood, when you want to be rewarded and parents are trying to keep you quiet, chalo bacha chocolate lo. So chocolate is always the reward. So in your head, chocolate is the reward. So you automatically look for chocolate, you look for sweet because it's your reward. So these patterns that we fit into, which are the hardest things to break out of, when you do amazing programs like this, you learn so much about your health and your wellness and all these quotients, and then you turn around and say, my God, why is it so difficult for me to leave these things? Why am I so attached to these foods, attached to these habits, attached to everything? And then you kind of realize it all stems from childhood, and you have to undo those patterns. The beauty is when you come to experiences and events like this, you learn. And the most important thing, you get to share what you've learned. Because each of you today will go back and be an ambassador. Each of you today goes back as a wellness ambassador. You go back to your families, you go back to your friends, you go back through all the stuff you're teaching everybody and telling them, whether it's the products, whether it's alkaline water. Like when you talk about past lives and you talk about DNA, it's amalgamating what we call quantum physics and Newtonian physics. We're talking about meta-sciences and we're talking about sciences, right? So it's really interesting when, for me as a person, over the last 18 years, I've been researching quantum physics as well as Newtonian physics, meta-sciences versus traditional sciences. So for me, the journey is amalgamating and putting it together and saying, where is the link? Where do we link all of this together? And it's so fascinating. I mean, I just met recently this person. I interviewed. You must go to YouTube. Just type Pooja Bedi breatharian, like breath, Aryan, YouTube Happy Soul. If you just Google those things, it'll pop up. I interviewed this man called Elatom Elamin. This is a couple of weeks ago. The episode's out. He doesn't eat or drink anything. Not a drop of water. Not a morsel of food. Now you think that normally people would stop eating and they starve to death. Right? It's taken him 18 years, and it's called breatharians, and there are about 1,000 of them on this planet. 20 of them are very active and vocal about it, like him. So basically, it's all about mind mastery. It's all about understanding how to harness energy that surrounds us. Like say, for example, right now there are 500 TV stations around us. You can't see them, right? But all that database, all that information is floating around you right now. If you turn on your mobile phone, where is all that data coming from? It's swimming around you. Everything is swimming around you. Yeah, your phone isn't plugged into something, it's just there in your hand. And all this information seamlessly comes. Not 1 minute of something else appears on this program, not 1 minute of that appears on something, not one text message from this person comes as somebody else's text message. Everything has a specific frequency. You have a specific frequency that you are operating at. And in order to access more, you need to change your frequency, your vibrations. Food, eating, lifestyle sciences. This does a lot for you to raise your frequencies. A lot of us tend to say, why is it that when you go into asceticism or spirituality or all of that, why do you stop eating meat? It's because the vibrations of what you're putting into your body change. And therefore, the foods that you eat affect your vibrational system. There's this wonderful product that you all have been told about, which is alkaline water, right? What is the importance of alkaline water? You know, oh yes, you've learned about the fact that yes, it's high in alkaline content and basically it's great for cancer, because at the end of the day, if you're fighting cancer, you must keep a very alkaline body. You have to get rid of the acids and bring in more alkaline, because cancer survives on acids and sugars, you know, and things like that. I'm sure you've all been taught that over the past few days. Now, when you see water, it comprises about 70% of your body, right, or more, and it comprises 70% of this planet, or more, right? And when you think about it, all the high tides and low tides that happen on this planet are thanks to the moon, the gravitational pull of the moon. That's science, right? So imagine what's happening to the water in your own body at every point of time and how charged it can be with different things. Now, there was this amazing man, again, my research, you can also Google him, an amazing Japanese scientist called Masaru Emoto. He did a series of experiments with water. And what he did is, he took water from the Fujiwara Dam, for example, polluted dam, and he took it and he froze the crystals and he photographed it under a microscope. And if you just go on the net and you see it, it's incredible. It looks like some gobbledygook, dirty kind of lava type of thing. He then takes it to monks and has them offer prayers on that same water. Then he freezes it and he photographs it under a microscope. The entire formation has changed just by the prayers. He says this is very interesting. So then he takes water and he decides to do different things. He exposes the same, just water, divides it into 5 glasses, and basically exposes it to different forms of music. Heavy metal music, sad songs like Beethoven's Pastrami, he has folk dance, he has all sorts of different music for different glasses, same source of water. The formations are unbelievable. It was heavy metal, dang, 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 dang. The formations are just so awful looking, and the ones that are beautiful and happy Kawachi folk dance, they almost look like diamond pendants and diamond necklaces. That kind of a difference on the same body of water. And I turn and say, wow, if just music has that effect on 70% of our body, how important that is. So when you learn about diseases, you learn about all that, it's far greater than just what you eat or what is inherited, you know, through your DNA, or the fact that, oh my God, I must learn not to trigger it in this lifetime. So what are the different things I can do in this lifetime to not trigger what has come genetically down through my DNA, and this is what I can eat, and this is how I should exercise, and this is what I should do, which is something you'll all been taught. What about more? What about the fact that you are in charge of how you think, how you feel, how you emote, how you behave? Because all of this is affecting the water in your body. Now, Masaru Emoto did something else which was incredible. He then took 2 glasses of water, and on one he poured the words, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Went to one room and just poured hate into that water. And he went to another room and poured, I love you, and great, powerful, positive emotions into that water. Again, the results are unbelievable. I really want all of you to go later and Google Masaru Emoto, M-A-S-A-R-U, and Emoto, E-M-O-T-O, and transformation with water, water experiments, all of that, just Google it. Then he did something even more interesting. He said, okay, we've talked about music, we've talked about intention. He says, what about the power of just intent and thought? So he takes 2 glasses of water, he doesn't say anything, he just puts the words, I hate you, and puts the words, I love you. And again, he freezes them, you know, and photographs it. Again, unbelievable as to the transformation between these formations and those formations of water molecule particles. It is unbelievable. That's how powerful our thoughts are. And every day when we negate ourselves and talk negatively to ourselves, I'm so stupid, I'm so fat, I'm so silly, I'm so this, I'm so that, we don't realize how hurtful we are to ourselves. You wouldn't like if somebody else called you fat, stupid, idiotic, but we say it to ourselves all the time, right? So we have to stop doing that because you're affecting 70% of your being, which is water. And 70% of you is now resonating with that. And that's also essentially what causes disease. Louise Hay had a huge connection between the mind, which are your thoughts, your emotions, because the moment you think of something, you feel an emotion. If you see something you really are scared of, that emotion comes up. You think of something you love, that emotion comes up. So your thoughts, your emotions, and then how those emotions translate into the rest of your body and create disease if it's chronic. So a lot of diseases, for example, you say diabetes, you must go to again a site called alchemyofhealing.com, ALCHEMY, alchemyofhealing.com, Louise Hay's thing. Everything is listed alphabetically. Every single disease is out there. So diabetes, for example, is chronic bitterness, where you are just bitter about life and bitter about things, and then later in life you get diabetes and you wonder, hey, I've got diabetes also. Yes, it's your thought process. You don't necessarily inherit the disease. You inherit a thought process that creates the disease, because we're all victims of our thought processes by our elders. If your parents have brought you up to say, "Arey, chalo, chodo, government aisi hai, waisi hai," you adopt those belief systems. You start reacting the same way. If your parents are positive and say, "Don't worry, the world is fantastic, good things await," you start. Like me, I grew up in that ambience. I grew up in the environment. Everything is good. We can take charge. We can conquer the world, and it doesn't matter if bad things happen. We can always move forward from it. And this is also why I don't wear a mask, if you've noticed, because I truly believe that it's all in the mind. Our greatest strength today in the troubled times that we are regarding COVID is our immunity. That is our greatest strength. And what creates that inner strength? What creates that mental strength? What creates that immunity? Exercise, laughter, positivity, sunshine, and a lack of fear. And the moment you put on mask, you're reminding yourself that you're fearful. It's just subconscious. I have to watch out. COVID is out there. So subconsciously, every time you're putting on the mask, it's an affirmation that you're scared. Okay. If you look at the state of Goa, how many deaths are really there? You've been around. If you come to North Goa, you'll be shocked. It's amazing. People are at pubs, at bars, at casinos. There's no social distancing really. But you look around and you see everyone's happy, healthy, vibrant. They're outdoors, they're in the open, they're filled with energy, excitement, positivity. They've come here to be happy. If you see the farmers' protest, the largest civil protest in the history of the world. Old people in the cold, no social distancing and no masks. You didn't see body bags flying out of there. It tells you something. They were there with a belief. They were there with an emotion. They were there charged with positivity, there for a cause. These emotions are so important to our being. We must learn to live without fear. We must learn, of course, be cautious. There's no harm in being cautious. But it's horrible to be fear-ridden. That on an everyday basis, for every little thing, we're over-sanitizing. Why do Americans come to India and fall sick so easily? Because they're so sanitized and sterilized in their environment that they come here and the first thing when they got bad stomach, loose stomach, fever, flu, cough, cold, everything happens to them, right? What happens to us? The guy is making bhel puri with his hands, he's scratched his head and he's done this and we're happily eating it. Something falls on the floor, we say, kuch nahi, ram, 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 and we pick it up and we eat it. We don't care. Our immunity is so strong. So, that's how you build immunity. There's good bacteria and there's bad bacteria. When you sanitize, you also kill the good bacteria. So what happens is at the end of the day, your body stops learning to fight. It's like having soldiers and you put them to sleep. And then suddenly you expect them to get up and fight. It's not going to happen. So you have to keep your soldiers constantly active, constantly trained, constantly aware, and keep your food healthy, keep your thoughts healthy, keep your lifestyle healthy. These are important things. And for everyone talks about going to the spiritual experience and the spiritual world, I have to say we've come from there. We are not human beings seeking a spiritual existence. We are spiritual beings who've come here for a human experience. We've come here to this beautiful planet to be human beings. We're anyway going to go back and become spiritual human beings. That's a given. We have a very short time, 50 years, 70 years, 100 years, and then you're gone. What are you doing with this time? How healthy are your thoughts? How healthy is your living? How much are you enjoying the planet? And you can only enjoy it when you're healthy, right? That's the only time you can enjoy it. And if you think wellness is expensive, try sickness. So I think it's really important that all of us, especially everyone sitting here in this room, because all of you have been beneficiaries of this incredible information imparted to you over the past couple of days. You've been taught how to be healthy, and most importantly, how to spread health to others. It's the greatest gift you could give somebody. You know, today instead of buying somebody mithai for something, it's so nice to give them wellness hampers instead, filled with immunity cardas and filled with really interesting mouth you know, those healthy things that you put in your mouth, and give them wonderful shower gels which are chemical free, or give them organic rice to eat instead of the typical things that may be grown with pesticides. These are the kind of gifts we should be giving people. You know, break away from what we were taught has to be given, and think with our own minds today as to what should be given. My company is called Happy Soul, this health and wellness base. It's going from strength to strength. We've got retail shops out now. We're multi-vendor from people across India that are fabulous in chemical-free, paraben-free, sulfate-free, organic, natural, preservative-free. All those vendors are welcome to come on our platform and sell. We've got stores, we're getting a big B2B2C site, we've got wellness centers and cafes coming up. We have so much in the pipeline as well. But the purpose for me today is to be here, you know, on behalf of Stan and Pratyush, really wish you all the best, because you guys have been empowered. There's so many people who don't know how. You want to do something meaningful, you want to do something bigger, you want to be healthier, but people sometimes just don't know how. But you've been given the how, and now all you need to do is go and spread it. So thank you for giving me this opportunity, Stan. I'm sure they're really hungry.